Good evening. Welcome to the 5-8, where we discuss each of the week's 5 most fucked up topics for 8 minutes each. So, 5 topics, 8 minutes, 2 hosts, a guest, but not tonight. Tonight's 5-8 neat. Tonight's 5-8 neat. Some singing, a lot of curse words, and as many cocktails as we deem necessary. LB, how are you?
I'm well.
I'm glad to hear
getting
that.
better. Yes,
Good.
it's wonderful. So I'm not as grouchy, everyone, and we can ring in this new year. I'm very excited for the new year. How are you doing?
I'm okay. I'm glad. I'm
Yeah.
pleased that the year's over. This has been it's been a strange year. Uh,
Mm,
I was trying to think like how the year would be remembered, and I don't know.
mm.
There's 3 things that jump out at me. Um, there's the Annis, Taylor, and Travis. That's the first thing because it's definitely the Taylor Swift year.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
And Travis Kelsey, and they've
Mhm.
lasted now for a couple months, which I think for her
Yeah.
is pretty great.
Mm,
Um, it's the year of Barbie Hammer or Barbenheimer or whatever it is. So there's that,
mhm. I like
and
Barbie Hammer. I think that's better.
is
I
it?
immediately went to Arnie Armie
Me
Hammer.
too. Me too. Maybe
Yeah,
that
yeah.
folds in the
Yeah,
Russian
yeah.
spy
Well,
stuff.
brings it all, ties it all together neatly there.
But in ancient Rome, they
Mm,
would have the year of the 5 emperors, and this is the year of the 4 indictments. That's what it is. I think that's
that's
the
what it
winner.
is.
That's the winner. Yeah.
I mean, at
Um,
least there were some consequences, and we're gonna get into all of this later on. We'll do our end of the year, wrap up, but, yeah, do you have any what do you got for me tonight to start the show? You usually surprise me. Anything?
I have,
Nothing?
you told me that you didn't want to be you said, I don't want any lists.
I
I don't want any surprises. I don't want any
I didn't
things
want
that are going to, I don't want things that are going to take a lot of time.
That's
So,
true. That's
yeah,
true. So
I was a little distracted before the show, and I wrote the lines about the year of the 4 indictments literally while the credits were rolling. So
okay,
I'm a
perfect.
little bit
Alright,
behind. I'm buffering.
alright.
I'm buffering. We'll get there.
We'll get
Uh, you
So we
know,
should jump in. Should we jump in?
I think we should jump in. Yeah,
Alright,
because we've got some.
I'm behind. I'm a little behind always with my one job. My one job. Here we go.
It's not just you're not your one job. You also sing the Disney songs.
I do sing the Disney songs. I might sing some more this year, this coming year. We'll see what happens. Might
Resolution.
I
We
might
didn't
be
do New Year's resolutions. We could do that at the top of the show.
All right, wait, listen. No.
I don't have any.
I don't have any prepared, and this is one of those things that it'll take us another half an hour towards the end of the show, and as much as we wanna be with you good people, and we are here for you tonight and to be here for our full hour, we're also a little pooped out and wanna get to bed and not have an accidental 2-hour show. Also, welcome back, everybody that's coming in, that's new, that's not a member. We had our members only last week, which I hope everyone enjoyed. I thought it was lovely. We'll be doing more of that. So if you missed out and you're not a member and you don't want to miss out on that in the future, just hit the join button. It's right there on your YouTube screen. And we make it really accessible and easy to join our little membership group. And then we'll have specials, which will be
We
great.
will. I
Yeah.
also want to say up front, Chunk, shout out to Chunk for changing the
Oh,
graphics. Just so good. So
so
good.
good.
Yeah.
Always so
Um,
good. Just
mhm.
love them. All right, here we go. We're back on the clock.
Okay.
Take it away here.
Well, this
Take it
is,
away.
we have to talk about war crimes because there's been
Oh,
war crimes.
okay. This is
So we have
me.
to start off on kind of a gloomy note. And
Yeah.
if you listen to my podcast, anyone who listened to my podcast, was a little bit gloomy because we had to talk about what the world will look like if Trump gets reelected and goes through with his plan, his very well thought out plan to
Yeah.
turn this place into a dictatorship, which we would rather not have that happen, rather not find out, what that would be like. But we have to kind of think about it because, as Brent Tannehill said, telling people what it's going to be like is probably better than trying to sell them on the many Biden achievements, which people seem not to care about or notice. So,
Yeah, the messaging never came together on any of that as much as, everybody tried. Maybe
yeah.
I don't think we give up on that, but
But we
yeah.
wanted to talk a little bit about the war crimes and
Okay.
specifically the Hamas Israel thing. So
Right. So, okay. I thought a lot about this today. I don't know if everyone has read the New York Times article uh, of the witness accounts of um, the the war crime, the war
Yeah.
crime against women and girls on October 7th, and probably ongoing with the hostages. And I understand that this is a topic that everyone in the discourse, not necessarily folks here, but a lot of people who are jump into the discourse want to um, distract from or deny or both sides or whatever. So I can't really um, I don't want to get into it on a show that's our New Year's Eve show and we're a YouTube show. I just want to encourage everybody to read that. So I'm not going to recount it. What happened? It's the most horrific thing I've ever read, and uh, it's disturbing. It's rocks you. Um, but it got me thinking about this idea of rape as a war crime. And I was talking with a friend of mine who looked up is forced birth because there's consequences of that if anyone survives. Uh, um, is forced pregnancy also a war crime? And lo and behold, in December of 2022, the ICC ruled forced pregnancy a war crime. So when you think about here, we have this man who's uh, going to be, is the Republican nominee and was our president for 4 years and is returning. And yesterday, what was it? Just yesterday, he lost his sort of trying to delay another E. Jean Carroll. Uh,
Hmm.
this is a man found by a court of law to be a rapist because no one wanted to believe or attend to the 17, 18, 19, however many accounts that were on the public record of his assaults, sexual assaults, and rapes, which again, torture, crimes, crimes that during a conflict qualify as war crimes, understandably so. Um, so he loses that delay, so that's good. So maybe there'll be some more justice, and this will be in the discourse again. But this is the man who appointed these Supreme Court justices who overturned Roe and brought back uh, this support for rape, which is torture, right? It is torture, uh, and forced pregnancy and forced birth from an act of torture, and if during a time of war, a war crime on children and women. Children automatically, right? Because they can't consent. So I haven't heard anyone really addressing it that way, that our own Supreme Court sorta rubber stamped and sanctified a war crime. I don't know what
Yeah.
to do with that. I don't know what to do with that. And if young voters are so warped around this division about the war in the Middle East that they're not gonna support Biden, they're gonna support the guy that's totally fine with picking out even justices to, you know, put a rubber stamp on rape and forced birth, forced pregnancy, on fucking torture, on the results of torture. I have no doubt they says, "Oh, no, we'll put the rapists we're gonna get the rapist. We'll put the rapists in jail. That's a crime." Well, so is forced birth. It's a fucking war crime. So I don't know, we need some powerful voices out there framing it appropriately. We just do, because it's us. It's women and girls that are on the line. We
Yeah.
are. We're the first line of attack for whatever barbarism wants to come at society. Innocent civilians. Boom. Get the women and girls. Here's what we do to them.
I feel like war crimes is a euphemism for how horrible it is. I feel like those words, even together, don't really do justice to what went on October 7th in Israel, for one thing.
Yeah.
Which is, there are no words
It's
for
just
that.
evil. There's
Unspeakable
evil,
acts,
unspeakable
he says
evil.
in Conrad, right?
Yeah.
Unspeakable acts. And the
Mm.
coverage usually in the papers, and I was talking to a friend of mine about this, tends to not, when it's reporting on the war, makes it seem like, and I don't think they're intending to do this, that Israel's just in there because they want to be in there and that they were not provoked to do this. And I know everyone knows that, but it's one of those things that somebody who isn't paying attention or wasn't paying attention might have forgotten. So, this is one of the situations where we do need more, balance.
Yeah.
And talking about the Supreme Court justices,
Yeah.
what you just said reminds me of is the Crusades. When another guy in a robe, the Pope, said to the Crusaders, whatever you want to do, we absolve you as long as we get Jerusalem. And they were brutal and they did stuff like this, even though, it was saying that they were going to do stuff like this that got them to go there in the first place. Anyway.
Yeah.
But I think that's a great point and a good way to frame it about our Supreme Court justices validating war crimes. That's what they're doing. You're absolutely right.
Well, at the very least, torture.
Yeah.
Rape is torture.
Isn't there some cruel and unusual punishment provision in the Constitution? I don't know. I'm not a originalist, so I don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But it's just something I just couldn't go not talked about, and I didn't know how to talk about it. But this is the slope.
Yeah. And to your point, if Trump wins, this is the new normal. This is a new normal. So we're just going to expect more of this. More, 13-year-olds who can't get abortions, all this stuff. And, more women dying in childbirth, all of it. It's just going to be a nightmare. And again, I get it. People don't like what, Biden's doing vis-a-vis the war over there. But
people don't have the first clue what he may have prevented already. There's little indications of that.
Yeah, I know.
And I mean, yeah, just read it. Read the article, and then we can all revisit. All right, we got to move on.
We got to move on. We got to move on. Thank you for talking about that, because I know it's less than cheery, but it needs to be discussed. Okay. Next, darling Nikki.
Yeah.
What
do you have to say about her? I mean, let's bring back the Civil War, bringing back the medieval times, war crimes, and now the Civil War.
She is at the point where we do have to kind of take her a little bit seriously, because if something does happen to Trump in the next however many weeks it is, she will likely be the nominee. And I think a lot of people would breathe a sigh of relief. Oh, good. Nikki Haley, the normal one. She's an old-fashioned Republican. I had forgotten. Jessica on Twitter reminded me. I wrote about her, one of the first pieces I did for Prevail in November of 2019. Which I totally forgot about. And her conduct during the Trump administration, in which she was a cabinet member, by the way, was, maybe worth taking a second look at. To say nothing of the innuendo floated around by Wolf in his 2 books
Michael
about
Wolff.
what maybe she was up to with our president there. And
Which I gotta say, just because you brought it up, I frankly don't believe it. I think Trump told people
yeah,
that she, but I think if she thought that would go over well, she'd, she'd, even if she didn't engage, she'd say, "Yep." Keep
it's
going.
a
This
small
this
price
person,
to pay, isn't it?
yeah, this
For
person,
power.
I can't get behind this person. I'm sorry.
But she, in the book, also somebody says she has the ambition of Lucifer. That's a quote.
Oh,
And she went in there kind of very cold, calculated, making great effort to befriend, Jared and Ivanka, all of this stuff, continuing to be in the good graces even after she left. Trump said after he left, she did a good job. We did a good job. She's great. He said all the things
oh,
that he usually doesn't say.
that's right. And Jared was a special genius. Remember that?
Hidden
Hidden. That's right.
genius.
Hidden genius.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
So we have to go and dig around because remember, she was part of the cabinet. She has the Trump stench on her. She was there. She was the ambassador to the UN during Khashoggi, and she resigned the next day.
Yeah.
And we have to ask ourselves, is that a coincidence or not? Why did you do this, Nikki Haley? And if you did that, what's going on now? And why won't you say that you will not be Trump's vice president? Why not? What are you afraid of, Nikki Haley? What are you afraid of? And then there's this slavery thing. I did come prepared a little bit.
Okay, let's hear it.
Okay. So when the state of South Carolina seceded from the Union, they wrote a thing about it because that's what they did back then. They wrote shit that I'm just going to read from. This is the Declaration of the Immediate Causes which induce and justify the secession of South Carolina from the federal union. In the present case, that fact is established with certainty. We assert that 14 of the states have deliberately refused for years to fulfill their constitutional obligations, and we refer to their own statutes for the proof. These obligations being, the slavery stuff in the North. Okay. The Constitution of the United States, in its 4th article, provides as follows: no person held to service or labor in one state under the laws thereof, escaping into another, shall, in consequence of any law or regulation therein, be discharged from such service or labor, but shall be delivered up on claim of the party to whom such service or labor may be due. This stipulation was so material to the compact that without it, that compact would not have been made. The greater number of the contracting parties held slaves, and they had previously evinced their estimate of the value of such a stipulation by making it a condition in the ordinance for the government of the territory ceded by Virginia, blah, blah, blah. Okay, I'm skipping ahead here. We affirm that these ends for which this government was instituted have been defeated, and the government itself has been made destructive of them by the action of the non-slave holding states. We should have a drinking game. Drink every time I say slave.
Every time you say slave, that South Carolina put in, it was about slavery. Slavery.
Those states have assumed the right of deciding upon the propriety of our domestic institutions and have denied the rights of properly established in 15 of the states and recognized by the Constitution. They have denounced as sinful the institution of slavery. How dare they? They have permitted open establishment among them of societies whose avowed object is to disturb the peace and to elloign the property of the citizens of other states, property being slaves. I think we can drink, property also. They have encouraged and assisted thousands of our slaves to leave their homes, and those who remain have been incited by emissaries, books, and pictures to servile insurrection. For 25 years, this agitation has been steadily increasing until it is now secured to its aid the power of the common government, blah, blah, blah. On the 4th day of March next, this party will take possession of the government. It has announced that the South shall be excluded from the common territory, that the judicial tribunals shall be made sectional, and that a war must be waged against slavery until it shall cease throughout the United States. And that's why they're bailing. So I don't know, Nikki Haley. Search says slavery a lot, but why would you know? You're only the governor of the fucking state that wrote this.
She doesn't know. Like I was saying to you, she's to me the personification of a 1986 mom jean with the elastic and the pleats in front that like comes up, and you can wear any body type can put. She's trying to just be those jeans. You can put it on any woman. It'll still be the most unattractive piece of clothing, the most artless blob of fashion that you could put on. It doesn't even qualify as fashion, right? That's what she is to me. She's like those jeans, not the mom jeans that people call mom jeans now that are cut and cool and from designers. I'm talking about the stuff from way back when, that like before Target even was Target. I don't know, maybe Walmart was around. I think Kmart, Sears jeans.
Sears jeans.
Pennies, maybe nicer, a little nicer. That's what she reminds me of. She's just panders to anybody and anything, and not even to get votes. Why are you in New Hampshire talking about doing Confederate talking points? New Hampshire doesn't give a fuck about that. They're smart enough. They figured it out. You're not talking about slavery. We get it. She just is like a blur. She's a blurry blur with her hand out. That's what she is.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter. Like, it's like, all right, she's got Khashoggi blood. That's the other thing about mom jeans. Those jeans from that era, you could get anything on them. You didn't really have to wash them. You could have some Khashoggi blood on there.
Mm-hmm.
You could have some Donald Trump stink or some part of his body. You could have Jared Kushner's oily residue that, he secretes from his gills that he has somewhere. Surely he has gills, right? Because you complimented him. So he, it secretes. You can wear all of that and not wash it and still go walking around.
Yeah.
This is what she is. Those are those jeans.
That's what she is. And
that's what she is.
Don't forget that she is also awful. Her policies are awful. She will probably do everything that Trump is planning to do because the GOP has been completely subverted by all these people. So maybe she won't. We know Trump will. Maybe Nikki Haley won't. So I don't know.
I think she'll be totally fine with any dictator anywhere. And just try to, she's like also that, she's that high schooler that maybe she's that mom that gives everybody alcohol because they want to be cool mom when in the jeans with the jizz and the blood. This is Nikki Haley. It's terrible. I'm so sorry. I'm really restraining myself. I know.
I'm glad you went there. I'm so happy you went there. I think our work here is done.
God.
Our work here is done.
Just the work.
If you Google her name and BJ, I'm third in the search?
I can't with her. I can't.
Great. Yeah.
I can't with her. Even the stuff I know is not true and I don't believe, it doesn't make it better.
No.
It makes it worse almost. Like at least Carrie Lake has she's this horrible thing, but she's specific. She knows who she is. She's being her thing. Marjorie Taylor Greene is her thing. Haley's just like, she's a panderer.
Yeah.
She's a panderer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to refrain from quoting Lebowski right now. I will not do it.
Okay.
Say what you will about it. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to hide the banner.
At least it's an intro.
Our friend Chunk has been working on this and sent it to us 5 minutes ago.
We have
not seen it. We have not seen it. So
we are trusting.
Hopefully it'll be okay. I think it'll be fine. I'm sure it'll be fine. So, last week or whatever, 2 weeks ago, we did not play the farewell, but we're going to do a little dance party.
We need a dance. Yay.
Yeah,
Yes.
pretty good. Okay.
Pretty
I'm,
good.
I'm killing
Oh,
it as
nice.
usual. Shout out to my wife, Stephanie St. John, singing again on our show. Yeah.
Yeah.
You like my glasses?
I love your glasses. I love that. I love that we all got a little bit chance to dance. I hope that lifted everybody's spirits. And how just lucky and blessed are we to have Chunk? Oh my God.
Oh yeah.
I just love him so much.
Yeah.
Love him so much. Okay, so we don't have a guest. That's sort of our guest segment. We kind of merged it because it's long, but we did want to talk about what is your just take this segment to talk about what you like to dance to. Like, what do you like to dance to on New Year's Eve? What is your New Year's Eve? What is your how do you ring in the new year and what do you dance to? That's what I want to know. That's what this segment is. Let's just share a little bit.
Okay. Do you want me to go first?
Yeah, you go first.
I mean, I go to bed at like 9:30, so it's bed. So I took this question as like, I used to DJ dances in college, not with equipment, just play songs to get people to dance. So it's interesting to study what it works and what doesn't, because sometimes things you think work won't, and vice versa, and stuff like that. And I was trying to think of things like, for example, "Hard Day's Night" by the Beatles is a great dance song because it's fast and everyone knows it, and it's short. And those are the best things. Fast, short, everyone knows it. You sing, you dance, you're done. You want to just keep up the tempo.
We go to different parties.
Yeah. Okay. I know. No, but that's the other part, is that no one expects to hear that. You hear it and you're like, wait, that? And then you're like, oh, and then
good song. Yeah.
It's but I was thinking about it. I was scrolling through some mixes that I made, and I think for you and me, I don't know about you. I can't speak for you. No. I think most Gen X people, who in my circle, certainly, if we have to pick one song from that time period, it's going to be "Freedom 90" by George Michael.
Yeah.
I think that's the one,
I agree. I love that song so much. And I like George Michael. I really,
he's awesome.
He's just incredible. I saw his documentary recently during my sick. I was like watching all this stuff and I hadn't seen it before. And really seen like a real retrospective on his career and what he had done. And I was like, that was fucking awesome. That was fun to live through. The 90s, the 80s and 90s were actually quite fun to live through culturally, I think. As much of it is sort of like cringy when you look back on it, it was fun when you were in it. I loved it. I mean, we had a lot of fun. We tease about this because it's almost like twins or something, and the twin is like 2 minutes older, but I'm the older one, right? But how I'm older than you, and you're like, you're not older than, but I'm like genuinely older than you. To where you didn't have, like when I was in 6th grade, we were dancing to "Ring My Bell." It was like the greatest, so it was like a little bit, just coming into middle school, a little bit younger. But that to me, I loved it. I loved all Donna Summers. But that wasn't Donna Summers. Who was that again? Carol.
Oh, I don't know. I never heard the song before you played it for me today.
You'd never heard it before, which I couldn't believe.
It really is great.
And that was the one that we just danced to that. Every weekend we were singing and dancing to that. So, yeah, it wasn't Average White Band. So there was a real difference. And then we had hip hop was coming in, and that was always so fun to like. We would go to there were places that we could go as teenagers, as young teenagers, and go and dance that didn't have alcohol, and they just would like to, it was either the roller rink, or which was all Lionel Richie all day long, or all night long. I should have said, or it was these places, and that's where we heard things like Rapper's Delight for the first time, and all this sort of the hip hop was coming in, and I loved it. That was a blast too. I thought it was amazing.
I think that, but first of all, there's 2 George Michael songs with freedom. So just to be clear, we're talking about all you got to do is take these lies and make them true somehow.
Yeah.
You don't belong to me, I don't belong to me. Whatever. That one.
Yeah.
Do you know the song "Laid" by James? This is kind of an obscure song.
No.
Okay.
I don't think
it starts because like, "This bed is on fire with passion and love. The neighbors complain about the noises above. but she only comes when she's on top. Anyway, it was kind of a minor hit when I was in college.
It's very explicit.
Yeah, but it's like a folk song almost, and it has a driving beat to it. So I was in a bar with my friend Roman, and we were the ones who used to pay attention to the music, and that song came on, and every woman in the bar jumped up and started dancing, literally without exception. And all the guys were sitting there like, what? Huh?
What do we do?
Like the women all knew it, and the men had never heard it before. I think it's like that same like genetic thing that makes all women know how to do the electric slide
Oh, maybe.
thing.
Yeah.
And I don't have that. I cannot Macarena.
That's the problem.
Yeah, I'm not good with these things.
I'm getting a text of Slow Dance 1970s Color My World. Yeah. That's a great song.
Slow dances.
Slow dances.
Yeah.
It wasn't Jesse's Girl. But that was a very white song that happened that everybody danced to. Hall & Oates had some good dance songs. That was fun in terms of.
Yeah, it's a little slow though.
Sometimes
the beat, like you think like Madonna has a lot of good dance songs, and it doesn't work because the tempo it doesn't work if people are dancing and it's too slow. There's a few of them that aren't, but most of the time you're like, wait, this should work. It's Madonna, and it doesn't work. Prince is the same way. There's a lot of like, it's a specific kind of dance. But if you're doing the dancing like I do,
it doesn't matter though. Prince would come on and you're on the dance floor.
Well, you do Let's Go Crazy in 1989, but yes, we
danced to Purple Rain. We danced to, and then When Doves Cry, it's like slow dancing. Like you got out there. Not everything has to be,
No, it does.
Yeah. All right. So that's it. All right. So that's the dancing. But New Year's Eve, what are your plans? What do you like to do? You just go to bed at 9:30? Do you go out?
No. I hate New Year's Eve. I've always hated New Year's Eve. I will now always hate New Year's Eve. I'm doing nothing. I'm gonna be in New Jersey that morning. I'm gonna drive home, and I will hopefully be asleep I'm serious. Why am I gonna? I don't stay up late. I'm not gonna watch the ball drop. Is Dick Clark like? Do they still play the thing?
They do. They do the whole thing. Yeah,
it's weird. It's weird.
I would do it LA time and watch the New York feed. So this is now my first time of like trying
London
to stay up,
too
and
early.
that felt late, staying up to 9.
Yeah, no, it's not great.
So I don't know. I don't know how I'll do in New York. I probably fall asleep.
It's amateur night. It's fucking amateur night. He said as he drinks.
He says as he drinks. Yeah, I don't know. I think the older I get, the more I'm interested. We're gonna go have a nice dinner. The more I'm interested in like living a little, because I don't care anymore. So we'll see what happens. I hope you all have a wonderful time.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and jump into our next segment. We took actually some time for that, which was
it's all right.
It's dancing.
It's the New Year's special, man.
It's the New Year's special. All right, don't you forget about me. You want me to go first? We're gonna have this sort of news stories. I found an obscure news story that I had heard nothing about all year in 2023, but it just had Greg Olear all over it, written all over it. And it has nothing to do with politics, has nothing to do with anything. Can I read it to you?
Please do.
Okay. So, new discoveries in the cradle of civilization. These
Jersey?
are Roman. Yes, there was something called Van Castle, which is, I think they discovered it not too long ago, but they're unearthing new discoveries from the Roman Empire. So here, I'm just going to read it to you guys. This is from an NPR thing. Archaeologists told us that recent finds in southeast Turkey promise to change our understanding of Mesopotamia's history. So we're actually going to get a complete everything you think you know.
Everything I know about Mesopotamia might not be true. Oh my God!
It might. You're going to have to rethink it all. So for
don't
you,
mess with my Mesopotamia. It's not cool.
No, we're going to mess with it. It's going to get all messed up.
Okay.
All right. So Van Castle, the site of Roman Empire military garrison, has changed our understanding of pre-Roman activity in the area. UNESCO says it provides, quote, important information about the Roman soldiers, civilians' daily lives, and the battles. So we're gonna find out they lived a lot differently. They did a lot different things. The battles weren't the battles we thought, or something. I don't know. Now, this is also right up your alley. The Mithras religion, also known as the Mithra. Is it Mithras? Am I saying that right?
Yeah. I
The
believe so.
Mithras cult is believed to have originated in ancient Persia, and the Mithras temple discovered 6 years ago is possibly the best preserved such temple in the world. So they also discovered this temple, and we're going to learn about that religion. Anyway, that stuff. There's still so much to be uncovered at the site. There are huge multi-story structures that archaeologists have identified with ground-penetrating radar scans. Why can't we find Jimmy Hoffa if we can do all this? I would like to find that motherfucker. I do think he was jigged into the second abutment of that in the concrete of that bridge. So
I thought he was in the Meadowlands.
and not to just take a mob turn. Sharp. No, I don't think he's under. He's in one or two places where they had a lot of concrete. They had big concrete jobs at the time. So he's either, and one is like under a field, like a baseball field or something. Okay, here we go. Anyway, we have the radar scans. We can learn about history in ways that we didn't think from Mesopotamia and re-understand it, but we can't find Jimmy Hoffa. I'm interested. They are revealing layer upon layer of artifacts, some dating back well into pre-Roman history. All right? So Greg Olear, we're going to keep our eyes on that and see what we learn about everything
Pre-Roman
we thought
history
we knew
and
about.
the cult of Mithras, which is one of the many religions that Constantine the Great believed. You know, the sole Invictus coin. Anyway, I won't bore you with this numismatic talk.
Okay.
So I think the idea of this "Don't You Forget About Me" was we were going to talk about a story from 2023 that maybe was underreported or whatever.
Right.
You know, during the many production meetings we had.
Yes.
We talked this through. I still have to go with the COVID thing because I feel like it's very strange to me, especially now that people have COVID again. People I know have COVID in various places, not in the same, vector or whatever. Is that the right word? Vector, like different Venn diagram circle, but people are getting it. People have it. It's going around with the flu and with the other thing, and nobody seems to want to talk about it. I think we're all like, no, we're not fucking doing that again, no matter what. And, the 1.1 million Americans died of COVID, and a lot more got long COVID. People got sick. People were, it had a major impact. The mental health crisis, especially among young people, I think we're going to be seeing the results of that for years, decades, whatever. And nobody seems to want to know about it at all. Like, what the fuck with what was Trump doing? Why did he fail so badly? Why did he politicize the wearing of masks? Why did he get that scarf lady in there and fire Rob Rosenstein's sister, who actually knew what she was doing? There's all these moments down that path that are bizarre and weird and wrong. And we're all paying the price and nobody seems to want to go back. And I think, I think I said this last week or whenever we were talking about this, I'm reading the Barbara Tuchman book about the 14th century, A Distant Mirror. And she says that after, the Black Death, in literature and writing, people just stopped talking about it when it was over. Like, they wanted nothing to do with it. So maybe it's human nature to want to be like, we're not going to revisit that. This is terrible. But I don't know. I feel like, especially now that this fucking asshole is trying to be president again, we should talk about it. I don't know. I'm glad we have it in our opening video, our dance video.
Me too. I'm glad it made a reappearance in the dance video. I do feel like there were crimes committed, and not just
absolutely,
financial
things.
I mean, there was a lot of theft.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, people being intentionally killed, and the folks behind that sort of planning, admitting it. And everyone's like, oh, well, as long as they admit it, I guess, as long as we're talking about it, it's not a crime. It's part
You're talking
of
about Kushner? You're talking about Kushner?
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
I don't
understand.
Can we pivot for 1 second about country?
Yes.
Okay. So I resurrected an old Instagram account that I had from years ago for my old website, and I changed the name of it to Greg Olear, whatever, because now we're supposed to be on Instagram again, I guess. And at one point, because I was monitoring it, I was following Ivanka Trump. So I'm still following Ivanka Trump on this Instagram account. Okay.
Okay.
To monitor. I can't even, the world, the delusional universe that she lives in, the Instagram, the stories or whatever they're called that she does, trying to make it seem, I mean, the pictures of her and Jared going to Israel are just, it's like she's living in a completely separate reality. Like it's like Earth 3, where she's trying to project this thing. And it's at once completely ridiculous, and it's also awful, and it's also very sad. I don't know. It's weird.
I don't know for what purpose. Like she's not.
I think they're Democrats deep down, and they don't like a lot of the stuff. I think that's part.
I got to draw a line with you.
Yeah, maybe they were before
social circles. I think it's
maybe
about,
that could be. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's more about just sort of. I don't think it worked out as great for her as, I mean, they got all that money, they made a fortune, but it's not like, she's getting the invites that she wants.
She was at the Chainsmokers concert in Las Vegas, so
yeah,
she wasn't with them. She was just in the audience.
And maybe just like not really like, ooh, like even if they're like polite and she's in polite society, but still like a little bit like,
it's very strange, but it's kind of fascinating as a morbid case study or something. I don't know. It's just weird. Yeah. Also, she looks completely different. It's like she's done something to try to make her look less like her dad.
Well, she's always doing something.
I know, but I think it's clear
that that's fake voice.
Yeah.
All right.
That too.
Listen, do we have announcements?
We do.
Oh.
I don't know. We're going to be back next week.
Okay.
We have some guests that we've lined up now. We're trying to figure out who's going to come on which week. So we're going to have, I think the next 3 weeks will be good in January. That will be fun.
Yeah.
I will be broadcasting from an undisclosed location next week.
Yeah.
Which may or may not be. I may or may not going behind enemy lines next week. I may be going behind enemy lines.
I will light a candle.
Thank you.
For you.
Light a candle. I'm going to be wearing my mask.
Yeah.
I'll be the rosary beads. Whatever.
Yeah.
But,
do all the juju you need to do. Don't get sick. Don't get what I got.
No.
Get what I got.
I got my booster and I got my flu.
Okay.
I got my flu shot. I got my jabs, as they say in Britain. Got my jabs.
Okay.
So should be okay. Yeah. So watch for that. It's going to be good.
Yeah, I think we'll have a great 2024 here. I don't know how great 2024 is going to be, which helps us transition. If you're done with announcements, did you have anything else? Yeah, I'm starting the clock.
I've got none.
I'm starting the clock. I think I'm not sure, guys, that this is going to be a great year. I think we'll have a great year here on the 5-8. We'll keep our community going. I feel productive again, so I'm hoping I'm going to have a good year. All our kids are graduating, so that's going to be just, I cannot wait for high school to be over. I can't even tell you how excited I am to have that be done.
You don't have to tell me.
Oh, yeah, it's rough. But in terms of the state of the world, we were talking, we're like, there's going to be 5 big things, and all of them are horrible. Yeah.
It's
one
weird.
One might be okay, but we're not going to hang our hats on hope there for that one. So we've got. You want to go through them? Should we list them?
No, I was going to say just to set up to add to your setup, your very good setup to this segment. Which good job.
Thank you.
It's the earrings. It's because you have the earrings. You know,
Oh,
you
yeah, I
look very
never wear
festive.
earrings.
You look good. You look festive. You look like you're going to go to a party after
We were
this.
like, yeah, they're little
Yeah,
party earrings.
that's what you look like. And I
Yeah.
just have panic. That's all I have. I just panic.
Yes. Well, this is
Um,
it. This is the that's
yeah.
that encompasses everything.
I
Earrings
think
and
it's
panic.
weird to go into a year when you know it's going to be a year. Like, there's
Yeah.
no way that this is not a big year historically. It's just
No.
impossible. Anyway,
Yeah.
did you
Well,
start the timer? Did you start
let's
it?
run it down.
Okay.
War,
War. 2 wars.
two
I mean,
wars,
there's lots of wars, I'm sure, but
two wars, no end
there's
in
2 big
sight.
ones. Yeah.
Bad.
Mhm.
Yeah. So that'll be dominating the news, and the election.
Is there an election? Oh, is this an election year? Oh, I didn't realize.
Terrible.
Mhm.
I think it's going to be odd. It's going to like the worst is going to come out of everyone, and the news is going to fail us again. Our media is going to fail us, fail to cover this appropriately. That's terrible. Terrible. Oh God. And then we have climate, not getting any better.
I looked at the climate clock today. We've got at least 5 years before everything goes into the shitter. I think we're okay
Not
for at least
getting
5 more
any.
years of
It's bad, and mass extinction being part of that, right? That's like we're gonna start seeing some horrific shit. I really like. I can't even believe we're living through this. This was one things we were talking about for our generation. It's jarring that all this stuff that we thought about happening someday, that we're now living through it, still relatively young. It's horrific. Um, aliens. I don't think that story's going anywhere. I think some alien shit is gonna go down in 2024, y'all, or whatever it is.
Are you predicting this or are you reporting it?
I think I'm predicting it. No, I mean, to me, I think it's simulation, right? Like there's something happening, something around technology is gonna drop on our heads, and so I'm just putting it under the umbrella of aliens. It could be AI craziness, I don't know, but it's under that umbrella for me. And then what's that? What was our fifth one?
COVID. Plague.
Was it?
I think so.
I thought it was
Climate
court
war.
cases.
The court cases. Also plague.
Yeah,
We talked about that already. The court cases, there's a bunch of them. Yeah.
yeah. That's gonna dominate the news cycle, all this. It's gonna be chaos, just chaos.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I know people are saying there are no aliens. I'm not voting for aliens. I'm just telling you, it's the wackadoo tech insanity. It's gonna go crazy in one direction or another. That's my prediction. It's not leaving the news cycle.
Wait, if this is a simulation, are we AI? And are we creating AI within the AI? Like one of those pictures
Maybe.
that's
I
in the
know.
little picture or that's in the little picture
Here's what I
just goes on
know.
forever?
We have cross singularity. That has happened. And that's just not even in dispute. And the the technology now that we created is not just self-learning. It's just we're advancing beyond what we're capable of wrapping our minds around in terms of impact and effect. And that's been true for a while, but this isn't just like social media, right? And no one really understood what that was going to do to us, and it's been, in my opinion, horrific. But um, this is all next levels. This is next level, like literally losing jobs. Just jobs are going to disappear. We're going to start seeing that. Yes, we had this great year of labor fighting, and that became so important because I think underneath it is this thing that no one's really talking about, is this sense of sort of doom of uh, of labor being replaced in across the board in many ways. and at a pace much more rapid than anyone is really coming to terms with. So whole industry sectors are going to shift and change and move. And so that's, to me, guys, I know you think I'm crazy, but I just put that all under aliens, because it's the doom of like this superior kind of the technology coming in and just wiping out life as we knew it and setting up a new kind of life that we're just not prepared for. I mean, I think, I've said this line before, and I think it still holds true. Most of our lawmakers are still mystified by fax machines and how a fax is sent.
My son played a
So,
hip hop song for me yesterday that had the fax machine noise sampled.
oh, did he
I
know what it
forget
was?
who it was. I forget if it was Danny Brown or I can't remember who it was. It might have been Danny Brown. Somebody he really likes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All
He's
right.
waiting for the Epstein thing. We had the Epstein things are coming out too.
Oh, the
My
extra
son is
stuff is coming.
my oldest son is who's into the music, is very fascinated by this because he thinks certain hip hop artists are going to be canceled because of it, and he's interested to see how it's going to
Oh,
play out.
maybe.
And yeah, that's it. That's what he's interested in. So,
Maybe.
okay. So I don't want to. I have to push back a little on the
On the
doom.
doom?
Yeah, I'm going to push back on the doom. So
2024 doom.
yeah, I don't know. First
Okay.
of all, technology is neither inherently good nor bad. Nuclear stuff can blow up a city and it can power a continent. It just
Okay.
depends on how people use it. That's true for any technology. Your hammer can build shit, or you break into Nancy Pelosi's husband's house and skull.
Right.
That's just it. So it's about, yes, the technology coming at us sort of rapid fire in a way that is hard for us to process. Okay. Can we get woo woo since the timer's off? And
Yeah,
I've
we
had
can get
a
woo-woo. Go
Manhattan
for
and
it.
a half. Okay.
Yeah.
So, all right. We're going to time out because I'm going to go woo woo.
Okay.
The age of Aquarius, right?
Oh,
You know about the age of Aquarius. Do you know
yes.
what an age means astrologically?
It's not a year, it's a cycle, though. It's like a a
Okay.
planetary cycle. So,
There are
right?
3 motions of the Earth.
Okay.
Okay. The Earth revolves around on its axis. That
Mhm.
is a day. It
Mhm.
goes around the sun and orbits the
Mhm.
sun. That's a year. It also wobbles. If you spin a top, the top kind of wobbles around like
Mhm.
that. The wobble, that's the year. If you plot it on a
Oh, okay.
circle
That's
and
the age.
subdivide it into the astrological whatever,
Okay.
that's the age. The age of Pisces lasted from around 0 to, we're not sure. They're singing about the age of Aquarius. Robert Hahn, the eminent astrologer, wrote that the age of Aquarius is going to be about friendships that are, instead of one deep, it's going to be broad. And Pisces is a very deep feeling sign. So you have very strong feelings about religion and God, and I'm going to kill you because of my God and this and that, right? But Aquarius is in the brain, and it's more logical, and it's more, because it's the third of the signs, it's the most elevated, so it's the most wise, and it's the most able to process all of this fucking information that we're getting. So
Okay.
the fact that we're going into this phase is exactly what Aquarius would be. And this is a guy that wrote this 30 years ago. This
Okay.
is exactly what it would be. So it's not good or bad. It just is a different phase. Because think about the way that you think, the way that you process information. And maybe this is just me and not you.
Hmm.
After Twitter came on, and I really got, I guess the word is addicted, right? You're
Yeah, sure, of
scrolling, you're
course.
scrolling, you're scrolling, you're scrolling.
Mhm.
And there's a tweet from you. There's a tweet from Obama. There's a tweet from somebody else. And I'm just scrolling and I'm processing, and it's coming in rapid fire, and I'm juggling them. I'm sorting them. My brain is sorting them out, putting them into. People didn't think like that before. It wasn't necessary to have that power to think in that way before. In the
Okay.
19th century, people read fucking Dickens novels. Have you read a Dickens novel lately? Good fucking luck with that. It's long and boring, and our brains are not set up for it. Good luck. Go
Mm.
to a performance of Henry IV and sit through it and tell me that, oh, I was riveted. You were not. You were fucking bored because our brains have evolved over time. You know? But look at like Romeo and Juliet. It was a 3.5-hour play, and then it was a music video with Leo DiCaprio, right? It's the same story, but our brains work differently now. They just are. They're adapting. I can feel the way my brain is working differently. And all the Gen Z kids who grew up this way, that's just how their brains are going to work. So while the technology is going to be hard for you and me and anyone older than us, for the kids, they'll be fun. And the kids are the future. And there's a lot more Gen Z than there are of us. So we're going to be fine.
I mean, okay. And then I would say this. The hammer can pick itself up and make its own decisions of who it's going to whack in the head now. That's the difference. We can process all we want. It doesn't need us. Elon Musk's robots are attacking people already.
No, Elon Musk's robots are blowing up on their own.
We're already there. The robots are. So we'll see. We'll see.
I don't know. I always have hope, you know. I always have
you
hope.
are hopeful.
You know, but you know, you got to prepare just in case something bad happens. We have to flee. We're just gonna go under the tunnels of Mar-a-Lago, get in the submarine and
Pilot away.
Pilot away. That's all
So
we can do.
you know, we'll get through it.
We will. I don't know. Do you have anything else? I think
that was the last line.
I don't know. Do you want to, you know,
I want to say Happy New Year to everybody. Let's end on a Happy New Year note. I don't have my New Year's resolution or my New Year's wish, but maybe by next week we'll figure out what our New Year's resolution is and maybe share that. If you believe in that, if you do that kind of thing, I don't normally, but maybe I will this year. Maybe I'll incorporate something new in my knowledge set because we're going into the age of Aquarius. But have a safe night on New Year's Eve. Have a wonderful weekend, everybody. And we'll see you next week.
We'll see you next week, and we'll see you next year.